Okay, welcome to tonight's live lesson. My name is Troy, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the site. And yeah, this is our live lessons. For all you regular subscribers, again, welcome. And in tonight's lesson, what we're going to be working on is basic ghosting. So these are just a couple of exercises that are designed to help you develop the dynamic control that you need to be able to ghost notes in grooves. These were probably the first exercises that I was given with dynamics, just because it's a great way to, these are just 3-note patterns. They're based off triplets. So we're going to be counting 1-ender, 2-ender, 3-ender, 4-ender. And the idea is the pattern isn't that ridiculous, and we're just trying to get our left hand and our right hand, or the one that's doubling, which you're going to see. The note that we're doubling, we're just trying to double. Oh my God. The notes that we're doubling, we're just trying to play very soft. So it's just a matter of getting an accent followed by 2 soft ghost notes, and that's all we're trying to do. So I hope everyone's had a fantastic week. Let's just jump straight into it. Let's bring up number 1. So in number 1, we're going to be playing right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, just on the snare drum. So we're going to just start nice and slow. Let's set the click to triplets to start with. So 1 and 2 and so yeah, about 40 beats per minute. Now the main thing to do with this, and this is a very important point, okay, when you're playing these strokes, you're going to be playing from your wrist. So your sticks are down over the snare. You're going to lift up from your wrist as if there's a piece of string around your wrist. Now the reason you do this is because it's much easier to play an accent when you keep a loose wrist, because you're letting the stick do all the work, or you're letting the weight of the stick do the work, okay? So as you're bringing that stick up and you're coming down, if I just do this, well then I have to move my arm quite a lot. Like if I'm just keeping my wrist straight, or even if I'm lifting from the tip of the stick, I'm only getting about 45 degrees, and I'll just change so you can see that. So if I lift from the tip of the stick, I'm getting about, what's that, 90 degrees. So yeah, 90 degrees. Probably getting about 90 degrees there, okay? But if I use my wrist, I'm getting more like 180 degrees, which is, twice as much power, basically. So I don't know if it equates, don't quote me about the whole power thing, but it's just, it's heaps more movement, gives you heaps more power. And you're doing half the effort. So when you're coming up for that accent, bang, all right, all from your wrist and come down. Now, once you've played that stroke, I want you to hit and then stop the stick about 2 fingers distance from the snare, and then and that's it. So basically you play that accent, and then the left hand is going to stay down. It's going to be all 2 fingers from the snare, and you're just going to drop the stick from your wrist again. Just drop, drop, drop. So it's going to be accent, da, 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 da. Just trying to keep the accent nice and loose, and the ghost notes just filling in the gaps. So here we go, 40 beats per minute. So again, as you could see there, you're just trying to lift up, play that accent, and then you're just dropping and tapping your left hands. Now, the thing is, one thing to really keep in mind here is one mistake that I see a lot of people make is as they're playing the main stroke, They bring the stick up and they come down, and on the way down, they're already slowing down. It's like they're hitting the brakes. Don't hit the brakes. Let the stick come down, make that volume. If you want it to be softer, don't bring it up so hard, or high rather. So just don't bring it up so high if you want it a softer volume, and that way you're nice and relaxed. So you relax from the moment you lift and drop. You're not hitting the brakes or trying to slow the stick down. You're not trying to restrict any movement. You want it to be as relaxed as possible. If you try and hit the brakes, it's going to cause tension, and that's where you're going to have problems when you're trying to get speed. Okay, so let's look at the second one, so number 2. So in number 2, same deal, except we're starting with our left hand now. So let's try this at 40 beats per minute. Here we go. Great. So the idea is to get as comfortable with those as you can, and then slowly speed them up before moving on to the last step. So just before we move on to the last step, let's play number 1 and 2 again. This time let's do it at about 80 beats per minute. So starting with number 1, and then we'll go into number 2. Here we go. All right, so now I'll do the second one, which is the left-hand start. All right, great. So now we're up to the final step. Now this is where we're going to apply number 1, the first one, to a groove situation. Now it's important that you play number 2 as well, but that's not probably going to end up jumping in too much until we're in the advanced lesson, and you'll see about that when you get there. But do yourself a favor, make sure you practice left hand lead and right hand lead. So all right, so now with this one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be just moving our hi-hat, or our right hand accents to the hi-hat, And we're going to be playing our ghost notes on the snare as normal. But then when we get to 3, we're going to hit the snare with our right hand. So it's going to be 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And we're going to actually also play a bass drum on the 1. So this is going to give us a basic ghosting groove. So here we go with this. Let's do it nice and slow. Let's do it at 40 beats per minute. Here we go. Cool, and let's just speed that up a little bit and I'll bring up the kick there as well. So let's do that at 80 beats per minute now. Now after I do this, so once we're done, once I've demonstrated this, I'm going to take questions. So if you do have any questions, now's the time to start asking them because there's a 28-second delay. So please keep that in mind. Here we go. Here's number 3 at 80 beats per minute. 2. Let's speed that up a little bit more. Let's do it at 120. Here we go. And we'll speed it up a little bit more. Let's do 160. So So you can hear that once you start to add a bit more speed to that, it actually sounds pretty cool. And all it is a 3-note pattern. It's right, left, left, right, left, left. Now, a couple little things. When you do play it as a groove, remember when you play an accent on the hi-hat, you want to play with the shoulder of the stick on the edge of the cymbal, okay? That is the best way to get a big sound out of the hi-hats without really trying to hit it hard. I'm not trying to hit it hard. I'm actually just using the weight of the stick and my wrist like I was doing before, and I'm hitting the edge of the hi-hat. Now with your snare drum, when you come down on the snare, you can do two things. You can hit a normal shot, just a normal accent in the middle of the drum, or you can play a rim shot. Now rim shot is where you hit the rim. You'll notice my sticks are all chewed up there. But when you hit the rim and the snare at the same time, it gives you like more of a crack sound. And that's gonna sound like this. I'll just show you the difference between a normal hit and now a rim shot. So I'll just play normal and rim. So just a rim, when you hit it, it just gives it more of that crack kind of sound to it. Anyway, so that's enough. That brings us to the end of this lesson. So now's the time where you get to ask your questions. So hopefully we've got some people there and they want to ask questions. Am I available? Yes, I am available. Okay. Okay, no, there doesn't seem to be any questions again today, but please hit me up at info@intodrums.com if you do have any questions. Alternately, you can ask your question in any other live lessons that we are broadcasting. Or finally, you can ask your question when you submit your video through the site. So when you are ready for some feedback on how you're going, or you just want to maybe hit a brick wall or something and you don't know, I don't really understand this, please submit a video. So record yourself playing and then record a little bit about yourself and ask me the question, then submit it through the site, and then I will get to look at that and I can answer your question with a video response. So that brings us to the end of this lesson. I'll be back very shortly with live lesson number 167, which is the intermediate lesson. And yeah, so until then, have a fantastic week, guys, and happy practicing.